Hello everyone, this is Fi. I'm checking out Archtower. Apologize if you hear any noise in the background, the furnace is running currently. I didn't want to wait around for it to stop. But we're going to give this a playtest and see if we can give some useful feedback. So I've got the game page open here. I'm not going to read everything that's written, it's quite a bit. It does say it's an action RPG roguelite. Most of RPG elements are going to be added later in development. It mentions every time you die you pick a new character from roster with randomly chosen classes. Here are the currently available classes: is Fighter, Vagabond, Firestarter, Poisoner. And it mentions the controls, which may be important if they're not in the game itself. And so this is WASD and mouse. Space to jump, left mouse button, primary attack, right mouse button, secondary attack, E to talk or pick up items, I is inventory, F to heal potion, M minimap, tab switch first third person mode. It's got inventory controls, drag items, right click to use or equip. Shift is to compare, shift and right mouse button equip to extra slot. Alright, so there's a lot of controls. I wonder if you might actually be able to I'm sorry about the answer machine there. I wonder if you might actually be able to simplify that somewhat, make it like more intuitive rather than, you know, having to memorize everything. But we'll see how that goes. And it has like some debug stuff, I guess. Alright, let's actually give this a shot. So I'm going to get rid of that overlay. I'm not seeing anything past this screen here. Actually. Alright, now that's weird. Okay, so the game is running as you can see in the capture, but it's not actually in the taskbar at the bottom of Windows. So I'm gonna have to Alt-Tab back in there. Attempt to. There we go. Okay, I'm back in the game. It's just weird. I can usually just go back and go down to the bar there and just click on it, but that's okay. So we're in the game here. A little bit of input lag. It's appears to be in the borderless windowed mode rather than exclusive full screen, where this is a mouse-controlled game. I'd really like to see low res off, volume 70. All right. Particle on. So I'd really like to see an exclusive full screen mode, so that you get a nice responsive input. Animated interface, less, more, off. Interesting. Alright, so it doesn't look like we have any like full screen options, unfortunately. But lots of different options for different things. It's quite interesting. I actually wonder if maybe you might not need all these like individual things to click on, because there's just not very many things inside each one. You could probably just like put everything on one page or one or two different pages, you know, that kind of thing. I don't know what archives is. It looks like it doesn't work right now, so go ahead and click intro, I suppose. A long time ago in lands far away, there was a great tower. For many years, brave adventurers dared to enter its endless halls. They left their lives there, all because of the local mysterious cultists. Hero survivors advised to stay away from them when they tell tales of their adventures in taverns. Generations of brave men of our family went to seek wealth and fame in the tower. Now it's your turn. Zandu Montecker. Alright, road to the tower. So yeah, you can definitely feel the input lag, and with any game with like mouse look or similar, that's particularly bad in my opinion. So it's going to make it, depending on how much the game expects me to aim accurately, it's going to make it much more difficult for me to be accurate than if we could do exclusive full screen and get that. Oh, input lag reduced. Okay, so I just right clicked and apparently I used the ability I can see in the bottom right. I have an ability on cooldown, so that was kind of cool looking. Talk to me, Pressy. It might be nice if the text box scaled based on distance, so that like if I get close like this, it doesn't like disappear from my view. I pressed E. Oh, yeah, and again, see, like just then I got really disoriented because I pressed E and expected something to happen, but I didn't actually see it because I was too close, so it's kind of disorienting. those Wanweilers dogs attacked us. I press E again. They don't want to go near the tower. Okay, so I also don't know like how close I'm supposed to be to interact with this guy. So it's kind of both problems. Like I could be too far away and I could be too close. And in both cases, this is kind of less than ideal. But I also don't know where the boundary is. And there's also no like indicator if there's more text. It might be nice to have like a little, like a flashing arrow or something that says like you can. Let's see more. You are the best of our fighters. Teach those fools. Oh, Yandu, I don't feel so good. Alright, so apparently this is too far away. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was just dying. I don't know. Interesting, you can't. You can only move the camera up and down so far. So it's actually a little annoying if I want to like look down at my feet a little more and I can't. Feels a little annoying. Could say the same thing about looking up. Like it just feels restrictive unnecessarily. Although there's not anything up here I want to look at. Let's go ahead and hit that tab key so we get our third person view. But yeah, you know, just the feeling of it kind of hitting the wall and it like refusing to kind of do what you want, I think is kind of unnecessarily making it just feel worse than it needs to. I suppose those are also dead people, which is interesting. It's an invisible wall here. Alright, we can do some first person attack. It looks kind of weird. Alright, we got different visuals for first person or third person view. Oh gosh, yeah, this guy blends in a lot. Blends in with the background quite a bit. You could probably make him stand out a little more. Tab, switch camera mode, yeah. But yeah, it kind of like looks like he's kind of sort of a windshield wiper movement rather than like slashing in front of him. It's not really giving the impression of kind of moving in the Z plane here. M to show hide minimap. Okay, so it's good that we do have some control stuff being explained in the game here. Oh gosh, yeah, that guy super blends in. He moves pretty fast for something that blends in that much. F, drink medicine. Alright, so you just walk over to pick it up. Again, I can't really look down as much as I'd like. But how much does... Alright, so interesting, when you press tab, if the camera is colliding with something like this, then it doesn't really look like it switches into third person. But might not be anything to be done about that. But I am curious, what is it? I is inventory. Oh, okay. Alright, we have little sort buttons, it looks like. Very small. This is very small to click on. This interface kind of looks like it was designed to fit on a lower resolution screen and it just doesn't scale or something, which might be the case. Feels very small and there's like a lot of screen that's just not being used. Yeah, having little things like this that you have to interact with the mouse is kind of like, it just feels kind of a little more cumbersome than it needs to be. Oh, and you can hover over this, but again, it's really particular, like where you have to land the mouse, and along with the input lag, it kind of makes it feel pretty annoying, those things together. But the text is very small. I'm kind of leaning in. My screen is, well, it's like a 23-inch screen. It's at 1080p. It's a really kind of old monitor, but you know, you can expect people will be playing at 1080p at least, in all likelihood. It's a pretty small text. A lot of information. I don't particularly like that font either, but that's just that's super nitpicky. My opinion anyways. Simple swords. Again, the text is super small. Damage 2 to 3 required. Level strength 25. Yeah, so where it says level, it kind of looks like 1v1, but I guess it's level. So I guess it requires strength level 25, which I guess I have 45. Weight is 5u. So my purpose for opening this is that I thought that I would see the potion that I picked up in here. Oh, it looks like we've got potions down here, but it's strange that we would have an inventory, but picking up an item like a potion wouldn't go into the inventory. Interesting. But I was hoping to find out like information about the potion. Okay, so again, more info here, but it's all very small. In any case, okay, I can press escape to close that. That's nice. What happens if I press it again? All right, this is what I like to see. Get a little pause menu. I guess this is a bad guy of some sort. I don't know what I would use the right mouse button for at this point. Alright, so there's some some challenges inherent in this kind of design where you're doing melee attacks in first person. The primary thing being that it's very hard to judge the distance from this perspective, and this might be slightly better, but I wouldn't say probably very much. But it looks like it's at least reasonably generous with how far it reaches, but there's still not really anything to go on for like knowing exactly how far that distance is going to be. I guess the only option is going to be, oh, we can jump, to just kind of try and get a feel for it. Wow, okay. Alright, interesting. Okay, so that was unexpected. It was pretty annoying in my opinion that I got launched. In particular, the fact that I got launched directly into the next thing. Something that's always really annoying, irritating, I find in games is if you make a mistake and you end up getting punished for it, but then like you get punished multiple times for the one mistake. That ends up being really frustrating. So, oh, that's actually weird. All right, so the player inertia is really low, which I don't think is a bad thing at all, but it's a little weird in the air, because if you, you know, I'm used to, I think, with first-person games, like if you jump in a direction, you kind of just keep going, and then you can kind of make minor adjustments with the directional input after you've jumped. But in this case, if you let off the key, you just stop instantaneously. So it's hard to, makes it actually a lot harder to jump a specific distance. And I also can't look at my feet, which is something that you tend to find necessary if you're jumping in a first-person game, because of the limitations of the view. So these are all things I would consider. The input lag also interacts a bit with the movement, which makes it feel a little more awkward trying to do fine movement like that. Like before now it didn't matter because it's just like you're just kind of holding W and whatever, but if you're trying to make like a precise jump like that, it ends up being challenging. But yeah, if I were you, I'd consider making these not launch you up in the air, especially since you're still like you're still vulnerable immediately after getting hit by it, and you can get hit by something else again, that kind of thing. I don't know if there's any invincibility frames after you get hurt or anything. But yeah, I would consider something else, maybe just not launching you, or maybe launching you kind of backwards in the Z plane, that kind of thing, something a little different. Okay, that's just pure movement, I assume. I don't think I have a block, like a defensive move. There's a yellow thing, a little yellow cooldown bar next to my reticle. I don't know what that was, but okay, so can I just, all right. Oh, maybe that's the right mouse button cooldown then. Alright, that's what that is. It's showing my cooldown, so that's nice to have that kind of heads up. I mean, it's not heads up, but it's right centered around the reticle there. I didn't really see, yeah, I don't see much of a telegraph for when they're about to attack. I also don't know what to do when they're going to attack. Do I just sidestep? I don't really know. Might be nice where this is kind of over the shoulder if there's a button that you could press to swap which shoulder it's over. There's a problem inherent in an over the shoulder look like viewpoint like this, where you kind of have a little bit of a benefit depending on your circumstances in the level. Like if you're peeking around a corner like this or something and it's over the right shoulder, then you can kind of see further. But if you were peeking around the other way, then the camera view actually works against you. So the fact that it's sometimes beneficial and other times it kind of screws you over, that's can be problematic. So it's nice if you can just swap that shoulder. So okay, I picked up the potion. This isn't a thing. I just realized that's just a body. So it's a little unfortunate. It just kind of looked like another item or something. Open inventory is I. Press E to pick up battle blade. So I suppose we pick it up and then we can check the inventory. It looks like we press shift. Alright, that's nice. It just kind of pops up there and we can do the comparison. Might be nice to have some color, color coding, like this stat is better and this stat is worse, that kind of thing. You see in other games. Looks like the battle blade does more damage. Oh, required level 2? Wait. Is the... okay. It kind of looks like the in this font, the L and the number 1 are actually identical. So I think this is LV2. I'm thinking about it now. Before, where you can see where the simple sword is, it says... Oh, it might be... Okay, it's very slightly different. I have to like really lean in to see it. But the L and the 1 are different. Before I thought it said LVL as in level. LVL is another way to abbreviate the word level. But it actually says LV1. So yeah, I would, it's such a little thing, but I think probably a different font would improve readability. It looks like level 1, level 2. I guess I'm currently level 3. That's interesting. I don't remember leveling up at any point, but let's go ahead and I guess we just click like that. We've got the battle blade. It just does more damage. Okay, and it has the buttons listed on here, the different things you can do, so that's a nice touch. So yeah, I guess we just have a battle blade. It has the same weight. Let's go ahead and... Alright, let's get rid of that. Alright, they just kind of fly at you. Yeah, I don't see any kind of telegraph when they're about to attack. I'm at 1 HP. Wait. Okay. Oh, that fully healed me. All right, so something I was wondering before. I don't remember if I finished speaking what I was thinking, but I was curious how much the potion healed. Apparently, it heals a lot because I just got 20 HP and it filled my max HP. Whoa! Aha, gentlemen, spare that vigor for the tower. Is he telling me not to fight or something? Yeah, I guess so. This looks cool. Interesting, the fog effect really cuts down the view distance. I don't know if that's just this area or the whole game. It's I'm sure it keeps the game running very efficiently, but I almost kind of feel like, it might be nice to see a little further. Especially with, this kind of nice scenery going on. It's sort of a neat little castle. That move takes you very far. I'm pressing E. Okay, you have to be pretty close. I'm Largan, a tower attendant, and I welcome both of your clans. Can you go to the top and slay the dragon? You may arrange your camps here, and if you have coins to spend, talk to me. So another thing I'm noticing is that, like, because I have to stand so close, the text is like pretty huge, so it's like not really comfortable for me to read across like the majority of my computer monitor with like this few words. It's not really in the sweet spot there, so it has begun. All right, we got some Mortal Kombat references. Are you done? Can I walk in now? Oh, okay. Oh, so we're not actually playing yet. Camp or tower, I don't know what that means. I'll just click on camp, I guess. All right, we've got fire starter and poisoner. I don't know. I'll just click on one. Two clans camp, I guess. This looks like where we left off. Except there's a camp now. So I can... Oh, I can't use abilities out here. Oh, okay. But is there a purpose to coming out here? Maybe this just isn't fully implemented yet. I don't know. Oh. Tower upgrades. Legacy loot. Extra bottle. Cure 1. Roster increase. Alright, so that's just some progression, I suppose. And looks like he has a feather or a blade or something. Can't quite tell. This isn't doing anything. An arrow up. Skill upgrades. Family upgrades. Interesting. I'd have to use the escape key. Alright, so this stuff isn't fully implemented, I don't believe. Oh, we've got a, I guess this is the stash. Oh, I can just walk in here. Alright, floor 1. Oh, that's cool. EP. Looks like, oh. I have some kind of wooden stick, okay. It'd be nice to get some more information about my abilities here. Doesn't look like there's any way to do that. But it looks like it's just like a throne potion. Let me check the clock real quick. Can play maybe 20 minutes longer, something like that, I don't know. I wish I could look down further. What is that? Oh. Okay. Oh my gosh. Alright, so, yeah, the field of view feels a little narrow in here. I think it feels like I can't see quite as much as I'm used to. I don't think there was a setting for that, I noticed. These traps I don't care for so far, especially with this perspective. It seems like it's really easy to just accidentally wander into that. Just not very fun in my opinion. I mean, I understand those are things that show up in games of this sort. If I was using this view, it would have been probably a lot better. A lot easier to notice that. Okay, so you can break these. This guy dashes forward quite a bit when he attacks. I don't know if that's any different from what I was doing previously. Alright, so I hear the bat. That was a pretty long cooldown on this thing. Don't really know how to handle combat at this point. I guess you just try and be evasive if they're going to attack, but so far I haven't seen much in the way of the telegraphs like I mentioned. Oh my gosh. That's scary. See, it feels very dark. I can see out there, but yeah, and the way the light kind of pops in and out, like I don't care that it's popping in and out, except that where it's so close to where I am, it seems like that's enough to kind of significantly affect the gameplay. Seems like it would be, oh gosh, reasonable to ouch, I'm already at 1 HP. It seems like it would be reasonable to extend that out further so that you can just kind of see a little further. I don't really like how I mean, obviously you want to see that you're close to death, so that's nice to see the red around the screen, but it also kind of serves to obscure your vision a little more, at least it feels like it does. Which isn't really nice if you're in a bad situation to begin with. So yeah, that bat, again, he just kind of, I don't know where he came from. Oh, there's actual bugs. Okay, so you can step on the bugs. But that bat really got me out of nowhere. Oh gosh. Oh, I stepped on another bug. It's kind of weird when you just suddenly hear these sounds and you don't know what they're from. Alright, so, oh, I do have a potion. but that one only healed 8. Wonder what that means. Right, I'm also realizing it's probably pretty easy to get mixed up in these dungeons. It feels like it's really easy to get disoriented and kind of lost. There is, of course, I forgot about the map. So that should be helpful in that kind of situation. Okay. But yeah, the camera, I think... Oh. I just kind of get the feeling that I can't always see as much as I want to, so maybe tweaking the field of view slightly would be helpful, I don't know. I suppose. Alright. Blaster Cop band. Alright, seems like a little Easter egg of sorts, kind of hidden in the corner. It's kind of cute. What was that? Step on another bug. Alright, it's a little annoying in my opinion. Oh, you have to be super precise with that. Holy moly. Oh, I'm not doing too good with it so far. Oh, you got into it. Yes. Alright, that's not good. Gate is open now. Which gate though? I've seen like a lot of... Is this a gate? Is that a gate? Alright, so a couple things. I don't know if this was a gate before. If it was, I would have liked to have seen it kind of like unlock when I approached it or something, you know, so I get some visual feedback, I don't know. Or maybe it's the one that's out in front of me still. The other thing is, it seems like a cool move, but a little hard to aim, and with the travel time and how kind of speedy the enemies are, all those things together, at the least, I think I'd like to see the area effect be kind of wider, you know, so it's like you kind of have a little more hope of actually hitting something with it. Particularly if you have kind of a projectile that has a bit of a slow travel time, and you have enemies that are mobile, you end up in a situation where you can't, like, no matter how much skill you apply, you can't always guarantee that you're gonna hit, like, even if you have, like, you know, like robotic precision and response times, there's always a variability that the enemy might move in the other direction or something, and you can't actually account for that if the thing takes too long to get there. So with that kind of thing, it becomes less about the skill, you know. Okay. And that can be potentially frustrating. So, okay, so with the, I wasn't paying that close attention, but the view being kind of dark, you can't see very far ahead of you. I wasn't, you know, now that I know it's there, I can kind of see it. There's more of these things ahead, but before, when I just jumped over that, I wasn't accounting for the fact that this was all going to be full of more of these traps. So that's a case. Okay, I think that's the gate that I was talking about. I think this is a case where the view being kind of so limited, or the light, or whatever you want to call it, around the player, it's actually kind of detrimental here, because it kind of hides the traps in front of you, where it was really important to know about those. Go ahead and slap that potion button. Alright, so yeah, enemies are pretty speedy. Looks like it kind of looked like I direct hit one of them, and the other one looked like I probably should have got hit. I don't know what happened there. This bat is blending into the everything. I died. Okay. Why does he get +1? Vagabonder fighter, I guess? Is it just like a random bonus or something? Oh my gosh, those are big waves. Wait a minute. I'm confused. So is it... Ouch. I had no idea the bat was even here. It just came out of, like, off of the screen and hit me. Alright, so where am I? It kind of looks like I just started off where I died. Because there are two of these guys. I don't know if that was just a coincidence. It's just kind of weird to restart and like immediately be fighting guys like this. Holy crap. The bat moved like super fast. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so like, I don't know, it's super easy to get hit by the bats. I'm losing so much health because they just kind of, you know, they either come at me from off screen or they're on the screen but I can't really see them because they blend in so much. And I just walked into that. Let's try the Vagabond, I guess. This is floor 1 too, so I guess I don't like go back to the bottom of the I don't know this guy's abilities yet. What does this do? Is it like a rock? I think he's just throwing a rock. Which is gonna be super hard to hit anything with. Headshot. Alright. Yeah, they dodge super fast. And I don't know if like if you get further, maybe you get stuff that has like shorter cooldowns or something. It does get a little annoying if you're trying to kind of like zoom in and deal with something. If like the cooldown on your basic attack is so low. For something that was like a stronger weapon or something, I can of course understand you wanting kind of a longer cooldown time or whatever. But sometimes you just kind of need to spam something and it feels better and it's more forgiving, of course, if you can kind of swing a little faster. I think it would just feel better in this case. I guess this isn't all random. It's probably a good thing. That was completely off. It was kind of a factor of the input lag, the aiming here, trying to like do a really quick shot. Oh my gosh, okay. And it's throwing the rock kind of upwards. It's throwing me off there. What the heck? He's dodging super fast. Okay. So yeah, with the thrown items, it just seems like it's pretty much luck if it's going to hit anything or not. What I've seen so far. No. What was that? Oh, it's showing me that I don't have enough TP. Is TP new? I haven't looked at the bottom left UI element there very much. But I guess if you spam attacks, even if the cooldowns, even if they're already cooled down, I suppose is the way to say it, you can run out of this TP, I guess. How does that work? Or is it, what is it tied to? Is it just the rock? I guess it's just the rock. Okay, so I don't know what the TP is or, you know, why it is. It just kind of seems to me like an unnecessary complexity and limitation kind of added on to what's already here. The cooldowns and everything. Okay, so I find it a little hard to appreciate. Alright. Ah, they're on both sides! Alright, so the potion doesn't seem to, like, stop you from burning or anything. I think that guy just hit me. The visual feedback from when you get hit isn't very clear in my opinion. I think it's, like, super brief or something, so it's kind of hard to notice as much as I think I would like to. There's also, I don't think there's a sound effect or anything. Yeah, some of the enemy behavior is really weird. It just like all of a sudden they move super fast. That bad, I think he kind of hit me at the same time I hit him. It was kind of weird. So they definitely seem to respond to your attacks specifically and seem quite good at dodging. What? Okay. There's there's the nail traps on the floor there. Oh, this camera isn't helping. I guess I just kind of... This is really awkward, but... Seems to work. It keeps going. Why does it keep going? Interesting how you can kind of use the attack in the air to kind of almost get a little more mobility or something. Oh my gosh, the bats. Okay, that was a lot. Yeah, so if you have 4 enemies in one little space like this, and they all move really fast, and 2 of them happen to like shoot giant waves of fire at you, and your means of attack has like a 1.5 second cooldown, or you know, whatever it is, I'm just guessing. It makes it really hard for the game to kind of function at some point, because you can't actually deal with all the threats at the same time because everything's on cooldown. So it's another reason to kind of be careful about the where you're gonna set the cooldowns. There's a concept called crowd control, where if you're going to be fighting a lot of enemies at once, you really have to deal with those sorts of things. Cooldowns and stuff that can hit multiple enemies, or at the very least, you know, dodge or something. You know, you need some tools to be able to manage a certain volume of enemies at once. So all stuff to consider. Let's see, I'm almost out of time here. I don't necessarily want to stop yet, but... oh, this guy did -1 HP. I don't know if there's a reason for that. Is it just like a random thing, or is there some other potential benefit that comes with that? So this whole... I'm just gonna fudge my way through that, but dealing with these traps, it's like... it's interesting. I mean, the movement is... The lack of inertia makes it really tight and stuff. Despite kind of what I mentioned earlier. Can do like really tight movement, but I think there's a certain number of this stuff where it just starts to get annoying, that you just have to like weave between, like if it's all in the same place here. Can I? Oh, okay. I was pretty sure I could stand here, but like maneuvering in there was a little tricky. This is pretty, yeah, it's very awkward. But, hello. Nothing else, the fighter feels a lot stronger with his primary attack here. I do think that the... Oh my gosh, I still got set on fire even though I was using that. Alright, that didn't look like it should have hit me, but, you know, maybe the fire things could have slightly smaller collision. Oh my gosh. Alright, so that's really frustrating when the enemy is like perfectly dodging in time with your cooldowns. So you can see there, like every time I tried to hit him, the timing was like perfectly against me, because I kept like getting hit or whatever, and then getting knocked away, and then I would swing, and then I would miss, and then he would hit me again, and like I'm standing right next to him, I just want to swing the sword at him, you know. So in these kind of situations, you can understand it gets kind of frustrating when you're just standing there and you just want to whack it. You just need to whack him once, you're just spamming the button and nothing is happening because the cooldown isn't really working with you. This is super awkward. No, see, there's just so much of it. Like, you could have just done one or two of these instead of doing the same thing over and over again. Oh, the poisoner. Okay, so I haven't tried this guy yet. Ah! Why am I bouncing? Sometimes I bounce. I don't know what's going on, what the interaction is with that guy. I don't know if you touch him and it bounces you in the air or something. It'd be nice if the fire starter had some kind of fire immunity. I don't know what a reasonable way to deal with this is, except for like extremely slow or something. Okay, that was weird. I was trying to jump, but I guess I didn't hit the ground yet or something. Alright. So what I'm trying to do, I noticed that I don't think there's any, what do you call it, input buffering. So if I jump and I press the spacebar too soon, I don't think it buffers it, so like when you hit the ground, you're not going to jump again. This is something you could add in. It's just a little kind of quality of life sort of thing. I mean, I guess the idea all along was to try and land here or whatever. It's very awkward. And yeah, you don't get any... It appears you don't get any invincibility on using this super dash move, which is very counterintuitive. It's extremely awkward, especially with the lack of the inertia and everything. It's a little weird how the melee attack on this class is on the secondary instead of the primary. It seems a little backwards because it's not like that on all the other classes, so there doesn't really seem like a reason for that. I can understand if like this, if you were meant to use the rock for most everything or something, but it doesn't quite seem like it's that reliable, you know. This is super awkward. It takes too long. I don't have time to to actually deal with managing this, but I guess I'm gonna have to go ahead and wrap this up. But yeah, I mean the game has a very cool feel to it. I think there's a lot of little things that I would tweak personally. Adjusting cooldowns and collision and stuff. Probably just the enemies. They seem a little too eager to just kind of dodge everything. But you know, I think there's a lot of little tweaks that could just make everything feel better. And I wouldn't worry too much about making it too easy if I were you, especially since this is really the very, very early part of the game. I haven't gotten anything very far into it at all or anything. So there's all sorts of stuff you could do to make it harder as necessary, but I would focus first on just making it as fun as possible. I notice there's a little bit of for some reason this glow effect is actually occluding my player character. That doesn't matter, I don't think, but interesting to see. I don't know about playing in this view mode. I think for you're gonna try and throw something accurately. This has such an arc to it and everything, I think it almost doesn't even matter, but maybe you'd want to use that mode. But it seems like it's kind of, this is probably more the intended mode. Again, I can't really look down very far to see below me as I'm jumping, but in any case, yeah, hopefully this was useful. And we're gonna wrap it up, so let me know if you have any questions. And, oh, okay. So, I pressed the Windows key to pop back into Windows to close OBS, and apparently I'm spinning very fast, as I can see in the game view in OBS here, so that's very strange. Alright, yeah, so not sure what's happening there. That's kind of cool. In any case, yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next video.